Listen closely. If you are over the age of 60 and you are starting your day with a brisk morning walk on an empty stomach, you are not just exercising, you are effectively committing a slow, calculated act of cardiac sabotage. For decades, you have been fed the same tired, generic advice: just get your steps in. Walking is the best medicine. Start your day with a stroll to keep your heart healthy. I am here to tell you that this mainstream narrative is not only outdated, for the senior metabolism, it is fundamentally dangerous. Every morning, millions of people lace up their sneakers and head out into the cold air, thinking they are strengthening their cardiovascular system. But inside their bodies, a much more sinister process is taking place. Instead of building health, they are triggering a cascade of metabolic stress that leads directly to what I call silent heart failure. This is not the type of heart failure that sends you to the emergency room in an ambulance, at least not at first. This is a slow, structural degradation of the myocardium, the very muscle of your heart. It is a process where your body, in its desperation for energy, begins to cannibalize its own cardiac tissue. Today, I'm going to reveal the physiological mechanism of cortisol-induced proteolysis, the tragedy of the fasted morning stroll, and why your healthy habit is actually rusting your arteries and thinning your heart walls. By the end of this deep dive masterclass, you will understand why you must stop walking until you have anchored your system, and I will provide you with the exact clinical protocol to turn movement back into medicine. If you value your independence and your life, you need to listen to every word I am about to say, because the standard advice is leading you straight to a cardiac event that could have been avoided. To understand why your morning walk is a death trap, we must first look at the state of your body at 7 a.m. You have been fasting for 8, 10, or 12 hours. Your blood sugar is at its lowest point of the day. Your glycogen stores in your liver are almost completely depleted. In a younger body, this isn't a problem. A 30-year-old has the metabolic flexibility to switch from burning sugar to burning fat effortlessly. But as you pass the age of 60, that flexibility disappears. Your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells, have become sluggish and inefficient. They can no longer switch fuels quickly. So, when you step out the door and begin to walk, your body suddenly demands a surge of energy that it cannot provide from its fat stores. It panics. This panic triggers a massive release of cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. In the morning, your cortisol is already naturally high. It's what wakes you up. But when you add the physical stress of a walk to a fasted senior system, your cortisol levels skyrocket to pathological levels. Cortisol has one primary job in this situation: to find fuel at any cost. And since it cannot access your fat quickly enough, it turns to the most readily available source of energy in your body, your muscle tissue. This is the process of gluconeogenesis. Your body begins to break down muscle protein into amino acids to convert them into glucose. Most people think this only happens to their legs or their arms. They are wrong. Your heart is a muscle, and in the senior metabolism, under high cortisol stress, the heart muscle is not exempt from this cannibalization. You are quite literally walking your heart away. This is the foundation of the sarcopenic heart. Your heart walls begin to thin. Your stroke volume, the amount of blood your heart can pump with each beat, begins to decline. And because this process is slow and painless, you don't feel it. You just feel a little more tired than usual. You think you're just getting older. You aren't getting older. You are being dissolved from the inside out by a healthy habit. We must also address the role of the endothelium. The endothelium is the thin, delicate lining of your blood vessels. It is responsible for producing nitric oxide, the molecule that tells your arteries to relax and dilate. As you age, your endothelial function naturally declines. Your arteries become stiffer, less responsive. When you start walking in the morning, your heart rate increases, and your heart tries to pump more blood through those stiff, narrow pipes. In a healthy system, the arteries would open up to accommodate the flow. But in the senior system, the arteries stay tight. This creates a massive increase in afterload, the resistance the heart must pump against. This is like trying to force a gallon of water through a needle. The back pressure on the heart is immense. This pressure causes microscopic tears in the heart muscle and the arterial walls. Your body responds to these tears with inflammation. It sends cholesterol to patch the damage. This is how plaque is formed. Your morning walk is not cleaning out your arteries. It is creating the very damage that leads to blockages. You are lacing up your shoes and walking yourself toward a stroke, all while following the advice of experts who don't understand senior physiology. This is the tragedy of the Zone 2 misconception. You've been told that low intensity exercise is safe, but for a 60-year-old with stiff arteries and high cortisol, there is no such thing as low intensity in a fasted state. Every movement is a high stress event. Let's look deeper into the mineral depletion that occurs during these walks. Most seniors are already running low on magnesium and potassium. These minerals are the electrical glue that keeps your heart beating in a regular rhythm. When you walk, you sweat. Even if you don't feel drenched, you are losing electrolytes through your skin and your breath. In a fasted state, your body has no mineral reserve to draw from. As your magnesium levels drop during that healthy stroll, your heart becomes electrically unstable. This is why we see a spike in arrhythmias and unexplained heart palpitations in seniors who exercise in the morning. You are pushing your heart into a state of electrical chaos. This is not health, it is a gamble. And let's talk about the 120/80 trap. Many of you think you are safe because your blood pressure is normal, but that number on the cuff only tells a fraction of the story. It doesn't tell you about the pressure inside your heart chambers during exercise. It doesn't tell you about the silent ischemia, the lack of oxygen to the heart muscle that occurs when your stiff arteries fail to dilate during your walk. You can have perfect blood pressure and still be suffering from silent heart failure. I see it every day in my clinic. Patients who did everything right but ended up with a heart that is structurally weak and metabolically exhausted. The reason is the morning fasted walk. It is a biological mismatch of the highest order. Now, let's talk about the solution, because I am not telling you to sit on the couch for the rest of your life. I am telling you that you must earn the right to move. You must anchor your system before you take a single step. The Robert Lee Protocol for Movement is built on three non-negotiable pillars: nutrient preloading, endothelial activation, and mineral saturation. You will never, under any circumstance, walk on an empty stomach again. Before you leave the house, you must consume what I call a cardiac anchor. This is a small, highly concentrated serving of protein and healthy fats. Why? Because the presence of amino acids in your bloodstream tells your cortisol to stay down. It tells your body, the fuel is already here. You don't need to cannibalize the heart. A single scoop of high-quality collagen peptides or 2 soft-boiled eggs is enough to switch your body from starvation mode to repair mode. This simple act preserves your heart muscle while you move. Next, you must activate your endothelium. You will take a nitric oxide booster 30 minutes before your walk. This can be as simple as a concentrated beetroot shot or a citrulline supplement. You are pre-opening the pipes. You are ensuring that when your heart rate goes up, your arteries are ready to receive the flow. This eliminates the back pressure. This eliminates the microscopic tears. This turns your walk from a damaging event into a circulation boosting event. Finally, you must saturate your system with minerals. You will add a pinch of high-quality sea salt and a magnesium dropper to a glass of water before you step out the door. You are stabilizing the electrical rhythm of your heart. You are ensuring that you don't enter a state of electrical chaos halfway through your stroll. This is the difference between a walk that kills and a walk that heals. And we must talk about the timing. The senior metabolism is not designed for first thing in the morning exertion. Your body needs time to hydrate, to stabilize blood sugar, and to lower the natural morning cortisol spike. You should not be walking at 7 a.m. You should be walking at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. after you have had your first protein-rich meal. This is the anabolic window. This is when your body is in a state of building and repair. Movement during this window is a signal for growth. Movement at 7 a.m. is a signal for decay. You must stop fighting your own biology. You must stop listening to trainers who are 30 years younger than you and have no idea what it feels like to have stiffening arteries and rising myostatin. Myostatin, as we've discussed before, is the protein that tells your muscles to stop growing. In the morning, in a fasted state, your myostatin levels are at their peak. You are trying to build health in an environment that is biologically programmed for wasting. It is a losing battle. Let's look at the long-term data. Seniors who exercise in a fed state have significantly higher heart wall thickness and better ejection fractions than those who exercise fasted. They have lower levels of C-reactive protein, the primary marker of systemic inflammation. They have supple arteries that respond to stress instead of breaking under it. This is the path to longevity. This is how you avoid the sudden event that changes your life forever. You must also understand the role of the vagus nerve. The morning walk, when done in a state of stress, overactivates your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response. This stays elevated for hours after you get home. It keeps your blood pressure high. It keeps your heart rate from fully recovering. It drains your cardiac reserve. When you follow the Robert Lee protocol, anchoring with protein and minerals, you keep the vagus nerve in a state of parasympathetic tone. You are moving, but your body feels safe. This is the Robert Lee difference. We are not just looking at the calories burned, we are looking at the hormonal and neurological signals being sent to the heart. A heart that feels safe will grow stronger. A heart that feels threatened will waste away. I am telling you these things because the medical establishment has failed you. They have given you a one-size-fits-all plan that is designed for the masses, not for the individual over 60 who wants to remain independent. Independence requires a heart that can pump blood to the brain and the legs without straining. It requires a myocardium that is thick and resilient. You do not get that heart by walking yourself into a cortisol hole every morning. You get it by being strategic. You get it by being the authority in your own health. Let's talk about the oatmeal trap again, because many of you think you are anchoring by eating a bowl of oats before your walk. You are not. Oatmeal is a carbohydrate. It spikes your insulin. When you walk after eating oatmeal, your body is dealing with high insulin and high exertion at the same time. This creates metabolic confusion. Your body doesn't know whether to store the sugar from the oats or burn it for the walk. This often leads to a crash halfway through your exercise, where your blood sugar drops precipitously. What happens then? Another massive cortisol spike to rescue your blood sugar. You are right back where you started, cannibalizing your heart. You must anchor with protein and fat, not sugar and grains. This is non-negotiable. If you want a heart that lasts into your 90s, you must treat your morning like a clinical procedure. You must be blunt with yourself. Is this habit helping me, or is it just something I've been told to do? For most of you, it has been a slow poison. But today, the poison stops. Today, you take control. You will watch your energy levels stabilize. You will notice that your legs no longer feel like lead after your walk. You will find that you no longer need a 2-hour nap in the afternoon. These are the signs that your heart is finally being nourished instead of drained. These are the signs of a successful strategy. And let's be very clear about the memory connection. Your brain requires a massive amount of cardiac output. If your heart is weak from silent failure, your brain is the first to suffer. The brain fog you feel in the afternoon is often not a cognitive issue. It's a pump issue. Your heart isn't strong enough to push blood against gravity to your prefrontal cortex. By saving your heart muscle through the Robert Lee protocol, you are also saving your mind. You are protecting your memories. You are ensuring that you stay sharp as well as strong. This is the whole system approach that the mainstream ignores. They want to give you a pill for your blood pressure and a pill for your memory. I am telling you to fix the pump, fix the protocol, fix your life. It is an act of supreme arrogance for the medical industry to suggest that a 65-year-old and a 25-year-old should follow the same exercise advice. Their cells are different. Their hormones are different. Their tolerance for error is different. You have a very narrow window of error. 1 year of the wrong morning habit can lead to irreversible cardiac remodeling. You cannot afford to be general. You must be specific. You must be clinical. You must be Robert Lee. We must also address the left side sleeping myth, which I saw in your comments. Many of you think that how you sleep is as important as how you move. While sleep position matters, it is a luxury problem compared to the foundational problem of the fasted morning walk. If your heart muscle is wasting away, it doesn't matter what side you sleep on. The pump is failing. We must prioritize the big levers. We must focus on the mechanisms that drive the most change. And the biggest lever you have is the first 60 minutes of your day. You are either building a sarcopenic heart or a resilient heart. There is no middle ground. There is no maintenance in the senior metabolism. You are either regressing or progressing. Choose progression. Choose the anchor. Choose the nitric oxide. Choose the minerals. And let's talk about the salt scandal one last time. You have been terrified of salt, But salt is the very thing that allows your blood volume to stay stable during exercise. Without enough sodium, your blood becomes thin and weak. Your heart has to pump faster just to move the same amount of oxygen. This is tachycardia of depletion. It is an unnecessary stress. A pinch of sea salt in your pre-walk water is not going to raise your blood pressure. It is going to fill your arteries so your heart doesn't have to work so hard. It is a fluid anchor. It is common sense. But common sense is rare in an industry that profit from your chronic weakness. I am here to bring that sense back. I am here to give you the truth that others are too afraid to say because it goes against the standard of care. The standard of care is what gets you a room in the nursing home. The Robert Lee Protocol is what keeps you in your own home, on your own feet, with your own memories intact. This is the mission, this is the goal. We are building a community of seniors who refuse to wither. We are building a group of individuals who understand their own physiology better than their doctors do. We are taking back our health from the experts who have presided over the sickest generation in history. It starts with the shoes. Or rather, it starts with the kitchen before the shoes. It starts with the cardiac anchor. It starts with the nitric oxide surge. It starts with the mineral saturation. When you do these things, you are no longer a patient waiting for a diagnosis. You are a strategist executing a plan. You are a man or a woman who understands that your heart is a finite resource that must be managed with precision. You are finally, after decades of following the wrong advice, doing it right. I want you to look at your legs right now. If they are getting thinner while your belly is getting wider, you are the victim of the morning fasted walk. You are in the middle of silent heart failure. The rust is settling into your arteries. The waste is accumulating in your heart cells, but you caught it in time. By watching this, by understanding these mechanisms, you have the key to reverse it. You can rebuild that myocardium. You can de-stiffen those arteries. You can restore that stroke volume. It takes 90 days of consistent application of the Robert Lee Protocol to see structural changes in the heart. 90 days. That is all that stands between you and a completely different cardiac future. Are you willing to give me 90 days? Are you willing to reject the healthy stroll and embrace the anchored movement? I believe you are, because you aren't here for tips. You are here for truth. And the truth is that your morning walk was killing you, but now you know how to make it save you. This is the path to the 100-year heart. It is a heart that has been managed, nourished, and protected with clinical intensity. It is a heart that will carry you as far as you want to go. Don't let another 7 a.m. pass where you gamble with your stroke volume. Don't let another morning go by where you dissolve your heart in a cortisol bath. Anchor your system, open your pipes, saturate your minerals. Then, and only then, you can walk. And when you do, you will feel the difference in every beat. You will feel the strength returning to your legs. You will feel the clarity returning to your mind. You will finally be moving toward life, not away from it. This is the Robert Lee promise. This is the science of the senior heart. Now, while protecting your heart muscle from the cortisol surge of a morning walk is the first step in reclaiming your health, there is an even more immediate threat to your longevity that most people completely ignore until it is too late. It is a silent signal that happens in the middle of the night, long before you ever lace up your walking shoes. If you are one of the millions of seniors who find themselves waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning, thinking it's just an overactive bladder or a natural part of getting older, you are missing a critical warning from your cardiovascular system. This nighttime interruption isn't a nuisance. It is a direct indicator that your heart is struggling to manage fluid volume and that your kidneys are being forced to work overtime because your arteries have lost their snap. But the most dangerous part isn't the waking up. It's what you do immediately after you get back into bed. There is a common healthy mineral that nearly every doctor tells you to take for your bones, that when taken at the wrong time, acts like concrete in your heart valves and creates the very rust we just discussed. If you want to know which mineral is secretly calcifying your arteries and why your 3 a.m. bathroom trip is actually a heart failure drill, you need to click on this next video where I expose the calcium lie and show you the one mineral that actually rebuilds your bones without destroying your heart. I will see you in that video to continue your protocol. This is Dr. Robert Lee, and your independence is my only priority. Click now before you take your next dose of bone health poison.